Juan Carlos Ferrero, coach and mentor of Carlos Alcaraz, has given one of the most revealing statements before the US Open 2025 semifinal. According to the Valencian, the Mercian is mentally better than ever, combining maturity, consistency, and confidence in his tennis like never before in his career. Ferrero highlights that this tournament has marked a leap, not only because Alcaraz has reached the semifinals without dropping a set, but because his emotional strength is making the difference. Ferrero is clear. It was always known that Alcaraz was an extraordinary talent from a technical point of view, but what is most impressive in this US Open is his mental solidity. I'm seeing him better than ever, in terms of concentration and solidity, he stated. The constant work to avoid ups and downs is starting to bear fruit, and the result is a much more consistent player, prepared to face the toughest moments on court. That emotional maturity is what, according to him, is making the big difference. In this tournament, Alcaraz has shown an almost impeccable level. Committing barely 5, 6, or 7 unforced errors per set is an indicator of discipline and control, something rarely seen in players his age. For Ferrero, this confirms that his pupil is finding the ideal balance between aggressiveness and precision. That ability to minimize mistakes in high-level matches is what puts him in a privileged position against any rival, even Novak Djokovic. The coach also stressed that Alcaraz has improved in every aspect of his game. He has matured a lot, his serve and forehand are also much better, he explained. While the natural talent was always there, the progression over the last 3 years has been evident. Ferrero even joked that if a player doesn't improve in that time, the coach must be very bad. But in this case, the evolution has been total, confirming that the Mercian is on his way to reaching his full potential. One of the key points has been the serve. Ferrero acknowledged that the serve is at a very high level thanks to small adjustments and consistency in training. The arm is very loose, the hand too, and when you win free points with the serve that generates confidence, he explained. This weapon will be fundamental against players like Djokovic or Sinner, who rarely give anything away and force you to make the most of every advantage. Alcaraz's solid serve could be the decisive factor in the toughest matches. Ferrero also valued the importance of mental freshness. After a demanding schedule between Roland Garros and Wimbledon, rest was key. These are necessary holidays, they help him reset his mind and return with a high mental level, he emphasized. This break seems to have given Alcaraz the energy needed to face the American swing with confidence and joy, something reflected in his flawless performance at this US Open. On the match against Djokovic, Ferrero was cautious. He acknowledged that facing the best in history doesn't allow for talk of favoritism, although he did value his pupil's current form. He's playing spectacular tennis and with a lot of confidence, but against Novak being the favorite is big words, he stated. The message is clear, they know the enormous challenge of facing the Serb, but they also trust Alcaraz's ability to rise to the occasion. Tactical preparation is another strong point Ferrero underlined. He explained that they would especially train the return of Djokovic's second serve, one of the keys to trying to unsettle him. He also noted that from the baseline the serve is very solid on both sides, so Alcaraz will have to rely on his cruising speed to open up spaces and wear him down physically. In a best-of-5 match, fatigue after 3 hours shows, and their Carlos may have a small advantage, he indicated. The coach recalled that after the Wimbledon final, the team had a positive talk to analyze what happened and set a plan for improvement. That reflection bore fruit on the American tour, where Alcaraz arrived fresher and with clearer ideas. For Ferrero, that ability to learn from setbacks and turn them into motivation is a sign of the Mercian's constant growth, who continues in a process of maturation despite his young age. Comparing with his early years, Ferrero highlights that the biggest difference is in how Alcaraz faces difficult moments. Before, he could have ups and downs, but now he knows that's when he must show his best level. His running forehand, his more solid serve, and his maturity on court make him a much more complete player. That evolution, according to Ferrero, is a natural step on his path toward the top of world tennis. Ferrero doesn't hesitate to point out that Djokovic still has a clear advantage, his experience. The Serb knows how to handle every situation, when to vary the pace, and how to manage pressure in key moments. To counter this, Alcaraz's team works on having several game plans and being prepared to adapt. Novak maintains a very high level throughout the match. We have to be ready for any plan he throws at us, the coach explained. The match schedule is also a factor to consider. Ferrero believes playing during the day could benefit his pupil more, as the heat and ball bounce favor his explosive style. At night, however, the court is slower and the ball bounces lower, something that favors Djokovic's flat game. This detail, although it may seem minor, could mark important differences in the development of the match. In short, FERRERO believes that Alcaraz is not yet unbeatable, but he is at the best moment of his career so far. His mentality, his physical freshness, his improved serve, and his consistency make him a formidable rival. The coach sums it up in a clear phrase: he's mentally better than ever. That's the real leap that makes him ready for a new challenge against Djokovic. Novak Djokovic has sent a clear message in New York: he is not willing to let Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner hog all the spotlight in the Grand Slams. After defeating Taylor Fritz and reaching the US Open 2025 semifinals, the Serb warned that he wants to derail the plans of the two young players dominating the circuit. Djokovic, with his experience and intact ambition, is preparing to face Alcaraz in a duel that promises to be epic, with an eye on a possible final against Sinner. The Serb openly acknowledged the greatness of his rivals, but also made it clear that he does not fear the challenge. There's no need to talk much about them. We know they're the two best players in the world. I'm going to try to derail most people's plans, Djokovic said after his win over Fritz. With those words, the 24-time Grand Slam champion showed that he maintains the fighting spirit that has accompanied him throughout his career. He is ready to challenge the new generation. The semi-final against Alcaraz will not be just a match, but a generational clash. The Spaniard, in top physical and mental form, comes in as the favorite, but Djokovic knows what it means to play this kind of encounter. He already beat him at the Australian Open and wants to repeat the formula. I know my best tennis will be required, but I'll be up to it, he assured. His statements reflect confidence, but also respect toward the Mercian's current level, who has been playing practically perfect tennis in this tournament. Djokovic explained that beyond talent, physical preparation will be decisive. At 38 years old, he is aware that he needs to be ready for long 5-set battles. I'm going to take care of my body, relax, and recover. The next few days are key to being in shape, he said. That focus shows the discipline that has kept him at the elite level for more than a decade. To face Alcaraz, he knows there will be no short points, that he will have to run, resist, and deploy his most solid tennis. The threat of a possible clash with Jannik Sinner in the final is also present. The Italian, current champion in New York, has shown impressive consistency in recent months and, along with Alcaraz, dominates the circuit with authority. They have won 7 of the last 8 Grand Slams and are projected as the leaders of the next decade. Djokovic, however, refuses to let them take command. He wants to be the one to interrupt that hegemony. In his statements, the Serb also highlighted the magnitude of the challenge. Probably everyone is eagerly awaiting the final between them, he said in reference to Alcaraz and Sinner. But he immediately issued his warning: I'm going to try to derail most people's plans and let's see. A direct message to fans and rivals: he is still in the fight, ready to disrupt the script that seems written in advance. Djokovic's mentality has always been his greatest strength. In New York it is no different. The idea of playing on a big stage, against young and informed rivals, seems to motivate him more than scare him. Normally I like to play the important matches on a big stage, he said. With that attitude, he makes it clear that he is ready to compete at the highest level, even if the predictions place him at a disadvantage against the new generation. The duel with Alcaraz will also be a clash of styles. The Spaniard plays with speed, aggressiveness, and explosive shots, while Djokovic relies on his consistency, defensive ability, and experience. The Serb himself predicted there would be a lot of physical wear. There will be a lot of running, that's for sure. It won't be short points. That analysis reflects what is expected: a match of intense exchanges, long rallies, and maximum demand. Djokovic knows he cannot make mistakes. Every detail counts when facing a player like Alcaraz, who has been playing almost flawless tennis. The Mercian, moreover, arrives with the confidence of having won his matches without dropping a set. For the Serb, the key will be to find moments to unsettle, vary the pace, and not let the Spaniard dictate the tempo of the match. On those strategies, he has based many of his historic victories. Although everyone talks about the Alcaraz-Sinner rivalry, Djokovic reminded that he is still a decisive factor in the equation. His ambition is clear: to prove that he can still compete at the highest level against the best. I would love to be fit enough to play, and possibly play 5 sets with Carlos, he said, knowing that those long battles are where he usually excels. His words show desire and confidence, 2 fundamental ingredients to aspire to glory. Experience is his greatest card. Djokovic has faced all kinds of rivals on the biggest stages of tennis. He knows how to manage pressure, how to stay calm in decisive moments, and how to reinvent himself during a match. Against young, energetic players, his tactical intelligence and ability to read the game become weapons as powerful as any stroke. That is the advantage he hopes to make count in the semi-finals. The physical challenge is perhaps the biggest hurdle. At his age, recovery between matches is slower, but Djokovic has shown time and again that he can withstand the passage of time, thanks to his discipline. The next few days will be key to arriving with the necessary energy. The next few days are key to getting in shape and being ready, he said realistically, showing that every detail in preparation matters ahead of this clash of giants. In short, Djokovic not only seeks to reach the US Open final, he wants to make it clear that his story is not over. With Alcaraz and Sinner dominating the present and projecting into the future, the Serb wants to be the disruptive piece, the rival who can change the outcome when everyone expects otherwise. His message is firm: he will not give up, he wants to ruin the youngster's plans and prove that he is still a formidable competitor.